Oh hi, monkeys are gonna kill us. All of us. Look at these news articles that I've seen over the past couple of years. Monkeys making stone tools, monkeys taking spa days, monkeys getting elected. That's not a Trump joke. Albert J. Chimpington was elected to the British Parliament. That being said, if it was revealed that Donald Trump was actually an orangutan in a suit, I'd be kind of impressed. Good for that monkey. Except it's an ape. I don't actually know what the difference is, but if Neil deGrasse Tyson could condescendingly explain it to me, that'd be great. I'm telling you, this whole monkey situation distresses me. In 1963, there was a book written in French, apparently they can write too, called La Planète des Singes. It's awful. It was written by Pierre Boulle and it was a science fiction story that saw 3 human explorers visit a distant planet where the great apes were the dominant species and humans were lesser than animals. You guessed it, this was eventually adapted as HBO's Sex and the City. I mean, it could have been. But seriously, this was Planet of the Apes, hugely successful film in the 60s, which spawned a bunch of hit or miss sequels, a couple of TV shows, a Tim Burton reboot that's best left forgotten, and a new set of films made in the last 7 years that I adore. There's something about the story that's always fascinated me. If we're talking about the original Planet of the Apes films, then you could chalk it up to the brilliant pacing, the perfect music, and the half-naked men, and the fully clothed apes. That's a bonus. So there is all of that, but there's something more, I think. What I figured out is that the core idea of humanity being confronted with equally intelligent life forms both excites me and terrifies me. Like, I mean, on the one hand, it'd be exciting to meet a species that we could learn from, where we could share resources and treat as equals. To meet an advanced species not only makes me feel less alone in the universe, but it advances the entire idea of how we perceive ourselves in the universe. On the other hand, humanity doesn't exactly have the greatest track record when it comes to meeting other humans. I doubt meeting another species would be any better. And, I should be fair, there's no guarantee that they would be welcoming when meeting us. What makes us so special? Besides Pharrell's hat, that is beautiful. It's most likely because I read so many Marvel comic books when I was younger. There you had interactions with humans, aliens, gods, and occasionally X-rated ducks. And I know that some will argue that there are already intelligent species here on Earth. I get it. Whales are magical. Elephants are majestic. Chickens are kind of assholes, but we tolerate them. I know that. I understand that. I agree with it. But there is a fundamental difference between the reality we find ourselves in and the fiction that I'm envisioning. Language. Sure, other animals on Earth use vocalizations or gestures, but what they don't have is a complex language in which we can communicate with them even more complex ideas. We do have Coco, she's the one on the right. She was taught some sign language and can let people know if she's happy or if she wants something specific, but it's still like communicating with a very smart child, and not a way to exchange ideas about how to run a government. Albert J. Chimpington's idea to run the UK on a purely banana-based economy is doomed to failure, and everybody knows it. Ridiculous. Which brings us back to the monkeys who are rising right now around us. Sure, now it's just crude tools, but what do we do if they do start creating their own technology? They enter their own Bronze Age, they begin to talk. How do we as humans begin to regulate where humanity starts and where it ends? We are able to distance ourselves from animals based purely because our ancestors hunted them. We use them in our food, and yet I believe, and I say this as a meat eater, that if we found out that pigs or cows had their own language and were beginning to evolve into their version of humanity, we would be pretty hesitant to bestow them personhood. It's most likely a question I'll never live to see the debate on, and I'll be cold and dead in the ground before I ever consider an opossum a person. At the end of the day, it's going to be thousands of years before any of us need to worry about this. Probably. Maybe I'd be okay with our future chimp overlords. Just don't make me ever wear this. But what do you think? When is a person a person? What's your favorite animal? Do we think we're in the beginning of the real Planet of the Apes? What's the deal with opossums? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. Please do all the regular YouTube things, and apparently clicking on that bell icon really does help. If you want to help support me financially and make even better videos, consider becoming a Patreon supporter of mine for as little as $1 per month. I just want so much to meet an alien before I die. Or while I die. I'm not that picky.